So we've already done a Trappist Single tasting.
Yep.
And our friend Mike, not this Mike,
Mike, the evil Mike.
Yeah. He came over and we had a nice variety. So I was late to the game, so I just now brewed my Spencer. I didn't brew Spencer's. Spencer brews to Spencer's.
Yeah, Spencer brews to Spencer's and Spencerton.
This is the Kiefer.
Spencerville.
So anyway, I brewed mine, finally got around to that because the idea was to brew a single.
Oh yeah, well we all brewed it for that competition.
Yeah, you guys did.
Yeah, and COVID kind of hosed that.
Yeah, but then later on people were like, hey, we should do that again, only this time we're going to use the yeast cake, then we're going to do a double, and then we're going to do a quad, and then we're going to do an octet and whatever. Yeah. So I decided to what do you say, octet in Belgian, whatever. Say octet.
A double, an imperial quad.
An imperial, ooh.
Jumping Jehoshaphat's. They call that whiskey and sugar.
Yeah, right. Yeah, pushing the bounds of science every day.
I'm sorry, we're going a little off kilter here.
Yeah, so
I apologize.
So anyway, I brewed my single. I did not do double or quad or anything, so I decided to start brewing other things. But anyway, to the point finally, I found a recipe to clone Spencer's Trappist ale. And I really like their ale, so I was like, let's do that.
I was going to say, if you see these bottles from Spencer Trappist Ale, for Spencer, anything Spencer, and they're in Spencer, Massachusetts, holy mackerel, their beer is good.
Is very good.
It's very good. And if you're a home brewer, these labels basically fall off when they hit the water.
I'm surprised they're still sticking on there, quite frankly, because I'm looking at them. So, but anyway, I tried mine, and it's okay. Gave it to Mike, he's like, yeah, it's okay. And then I thought, well, why don't I just buy some more Spencer's, and I'll do a side-by-side. And I think I know what I did wrong. I discussed it with Mike, so we're going to do the taste test and see if he agrees or disagrees with me, and we'll discuss.
Well, and you think this beer, it was one of the victims of your acetaldehyde issue?
So initially, I don't think it is anymore.
But it cleaned up, yeah.
Yeah, I think it cleaned up pretty quickly.
Yeah. So we've been noticing a consistent flavor in Jesse's beers that go away after a little bit of time. And acetaldehyde, it's supposed to be green apples. It doesn't taste like green apples to me. But I think I've tasted it enough in home brews, and it works its way. I'm like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's a in-between step between sugar and the alcohol we want. And the yeast are supposed to clean it up, and that's why it goes away.
Yeah, so and that's the only thing I can think of, because it does clean up after a while. So it's not like it's DMS or diacetyl or something like that where it doesn't clean up. Well, it's definitely not diacetyl because it doesn't it doesn't have a buttery flavor.
Well, diacetyl doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, diacetyl might go away.
Yeah, I was thinking it might. Get in a bottle because it's.
I'm thinking lagers, because usually a lager you crash it, and it never comes back up to
right, yeah.
So the clarity on this is pretty great. I mean, I don't know how clear these cups are.
Got some. Well, I think I had some chill haze.
Maybe a slight chill haze. Yeah.
We just decided to do this. Good. So yeah. So.
Nice aroma. Very nice and grainy. Oh, I think my comment to you was I thought I needed a little more hops.
Yeah. You were thinking I was going to need a little more hops. Yep. So.
It's delicious though.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm happy with it, except for one thing.
A little bit of a strange flavor on the finish, but very mild.
Yeah, there's a little. Yeah, there is something there. I don't know if it's that same thing that I've been finding or not.
That could just be the hops too.
It could be.
Yeah.
So let's go to the benchmark here. I'll share the recipe here in a second.
Yeah, and we'll share the recipe on the blog.
Online as
well. Or on the website.
Yeah.
We'll have a link to it in the show notes of this video.
Yeah. So, but I found the recipe actually on American Homebrewers. Or American Homebrewers? Yeah.
The Spencer recipe?
Yeah. Yeah, they had it in their recipe collection. So this is a little bit darker.
Yeah. I'd say the clarity is actually same.
Well, yeah, it's
same. I think it's. Yeah. I think the plastic cup is kind of killing it.
Probably.
Because I remember this being crystal clear.
Yeah. And like I said, I just pulled it out of the
Yeah.
fridge.
Oops. But yours is darker.
No, theirs is darker.
Theirs is darker, okay. I mean, they definitely have the Belgian character in the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Theirs is much colder.
It came out of the same refrigerator. That's weird. Oh, I didn't have that one in my pocket on the way down here.
Yeah, and it has the Belgian character throughout the flavor.
So I think that
Yeah.
has a lot more Belgian character, which I think, but I think the hops or I think the balance, the malt hops balance is the same on both.
Yeah.
But that one has more of a Belgian character. So
I agree. I think they're exceptionally close except for the Belgian character.
so here's my theory, and I was explaining this to Mike, and you guys can agree or disagree, leave them in the comments, but I pitched 2 packs of yeast, with the thought being that I'm going to be doing a double on this yeast cake, so I want lots of yeast. And then also, this recipe called for it to be fermented kind of low. I want to say it was like 63, 65 degrees. Normally Belgian yeast, you want to do high 60s, low 70s.
Yeah.
And so I think the yeast just was not stressed enough. I overpitched, didn't stress them with the temperature, and they were just fat, dumb, and happy, and they just fermented cleanly, and they were done.
Yeah.
So,
Which makes a lot of sense because, you know, what we've been reading on pressure fermenting is that the pressure kind of retards the growth of the yeast, so it doesn't grow as much, just like lagers. The cold temperature does the same thing, and you don't get the ester production, which is produced when they're reproducing. So
yeah.
that would make a lot of sense.
So it makes sense to me. So
Yeah.
I'm interested to try this again. Only this time, do not stress the yeast, not underpitch or anything.
Man,
But you do
that clove is coming out now. It's nice and spicy.
Yeah, I'm really wishing I had thought about this earlier and I'd set one out for a little bit.
Well, still, it's a great beer, and that flavor kind of you miss it after the first couple of sips. It just doesn't register.
At the
anymore.
very end?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. And even this one, after having, we just filmed the one with the Soulcraft beers, so they were very light lagers, you know, very clean. I tried mine after that. I was like, oh, there is a Belgian character in there, so it's there. It's just really
low.
Really low, yeah. So I'm really curious. Oh, I'm not plugged in. Yeah.
That's still a great beer, though.
So yeah, I'm pleased with it. This is so. And then to speak to the acetaldehyde issue, I think I was rushing it. I don't know if I talked about this before, but I think I was rushing my beers as soon as they were done fermenting. I was like, oh, we're done. Off you go. Off the yeast bottle. Let's go. And I think that was too much. So now, I think this was this was on the yeast for a month.
Yeah.
Just because I was going to let it go for a little while, and then you and I couldn't find a common time to brew that, a weekend. And so it was just sitting there, and I think it worked pretty well. So
yeah, and a lot of people rush their beers. So
yeah.
I mean, we just did. We judged some beers from some club members, and that's a couple of them were over carbonated, and it's probably because they rushed it a little bit and it didn't ferment out. Yeah. And it could be, it could be poor yeast health. It could be temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a couple things. So, but really quickly, in case anyone is interested, it's a pretty simple recipe. It's 6 pounds of 2-row. I think.
Pilsner.
No, this is actually 2-row.
Really?
Yeah, not Belgian Pilsner. And I was just going to say, I wonder what this would be like with some Belgian Pilsner
Yeah,
instead. Then 3.5 pounds of 6-row, and then a half pound of Karamunic 1. And then the hops, again, pretty simple. This was a 90-minute boil. And Perlay at 90 minutes, and Cascade at 30. And that's pretty much it. And I mashed it 162 for an hour.
It's a little high, yeah. You'd think you'd have a much heavier body than it does.
162.
Was there any
I'm
sugar?
sorry, 145.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, like 162.
Yeah, 162. That's like denaturing.
So, yeah, that was the mash out. I'm misreading my own. So 145.
145. Okay.
That's better.
That's why it's really light.
Yeah. So
And of course, if you didn't know, the lower temperature in the range, you get a more fermentable wort. The higher temperature, you get a less fermentable wort. You go too high, you kill all the enzymes, and you don't get beer.
You get sugar water.
Yeah.
That tastes like
starch water.
It probably tastes like the tea bag.
Yeah.
Very astringent.
Yeah, and that'll cause some attenuation problems too, because you take your gravity and you're like, oh, this is nice and high, and then it just doesn't drop.
That's it. Yeah.
So,
but I think that's it. So then,
good job.
yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah, no, I appreciate the input. So, like I said, I'm interested to give this one another shot.
Yeah, and like we said, Spencer beers, if you see them, you should get them. If
Yeah.
you like Belgian beers. And what was the IPA one they did? Wasn't it a lager IPA? No.
I know they do a lager,
Yeah.
which is good. But yeah, I think that's
They had
just
something hoppy, I thought, that you bought, and it was really good.
I don't remember if it was a Belgian pale ale or if it was an actual IPA. It may have just been an IPA.
I think so.
I don't remember. But can't recommend those guys enough. And oddly enough, there's only like 2 liquor stores in town that carry them that I've found.
Yeah.
And I went to the other ones. I was like, "Hey, you guys have Spencer's?" And they're like, "Who?" So they look it up. "Oh no, we don't carry them." I was like, "Well, you should, because they're awesome." So.
I'll be right back.
So, go buy one, bring it here, try these.
Yeah.
No, I think I went to what's that one by the King Soopers?
Tuscany has it, I know.
That's where I got this one.
Patriots?
Patriots. That's good.
Has them.
No, see, they don't, because
okay.
I asked, and
Yeah.
they had no idea what I was talking about. Freedom Might? I don't know. Anyway, that's getting in a little inside baseball there.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Unless you live here.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but Tuscany and Coltrane, of course. They have everything.
Coltrane. They got it all.
Right. Yeah, that's where, anyway. That's where I first saw this. It was like, because I was walking through and, look what they have! Because I'd only heard about Spencer, so I was very excited. And rightfully so.
Yeah.
Anyway, I appreciate the input. So,
Well, till next time.
yeah.
Cheers. Tink.
Tink. Thanks for watching our video. Check out our website at coloradobrewtalk.com for more great content.
While you're there, be sure to leave us a comment or drop us a line with your thoughts.
You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter at CO Brew Talk, or follow the links below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future content.
Or episodes. As the case may be. Trappist monks!
So we've already done our...
Here in the U.S.
In the United States. Run for your lives! I don't know.